things are absolutely taking off. You've been with us for about how many months?
Less than 5. Probably.
Less than 5 months. You had a team of?
6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. And you now have a team of?
Technically 79. There's 9 pending. So
79. And when we talk about a team, are we talking about a team of, agents that have joined, with you, or are we talking about a producing team?
We're talking about a producing team. So I got licensed in 2015, jumped around brokerages. We all know those agents that change brokerages like they change their underwear. So every week they have different business cards and whatnot. And I think the success comes from the performance of the team that I lead. I've taken everything I loved about all of the competition of EXP, all of the things that I hated, and all the things I wish a brokerage would have offered. And I created Pacific Realty Group, which is now a team under EXP, and my retention rate is 99%.
Wow, yes. So that just doesn't happen. I mean, you're, nice guy and whatnot. Yeah. But what drew my attention was a conversation that we had. You had 7 agents in the last 3 months, I think.
Yes. Brand
new agents. Some of us that are trying to figure it out. We've been in the business for a while. We're not really sure how to move forward. But you took 7 agents from brand new in the market, and tell me about how long it took those agents, on average, to close their first deal.
So we had an agent that was recently licensed 6 months ago, brand new, never did a transaction before. And she worked for one of our wannabes, I guess we could say, as Leo likes to say it. And she wasn't seeing any success, wasn't being trained properly. The reason why I'm telling you that is because 5 days after she came into our office, she opened escrow for $1.3 million.
5 days?
5 days. She was a brand new agent, never been part of a transaction, never been a part of any offer, never been a part of any, escrow. Nothing. Brand new. And that's happened several times over the last 20 days with different agents from, obviously, coming from different brokerages and being trained by myself.
Okay. So we hear, I'm going to put this down for a second. We hear that it takes 90 days, 120 days to close the first transaction. So when you're new in real estate, or if you're just getting in, you got to be financially prepared. What was the average amount of time for your new agents to close their first?
So since I started this venture with my team, I run a very big Zillow Flex team. So if anybody's wondering how I'm feeding my agents, that's how. I'm not selling it to anybody. That this is the training that comes from it. The average turnaround from an agent that signs with my team personally to the time they see their first escrow is 48 days.
48 days.
That's the average. There's people in this room right now. I'm not going to single them out, but there's an agent in here right now that joined my team from a different brokerage and just opened escrow 48 hours after signing with me for $1.6 million.
1.6 million.
1.6 million.
Wow.
So, and these are all people that I would love to have you guys have conversations with. And I think that the true build behind this is EXP comes from 2 worlds, a world of building, a world of recruiting, to tell us the type of system that the amazing minds behind this corporation have created. And there is no reason for any agent to fail with all the ancillary tools that EXP offers us, right? I think the biggest part about that is really being led from the front. My team brought me this big picture of being a leader from the front and not from the back. And I have a saying that I tell everybody is, I'm a leader that goes home with blood on his fingers. I have a listing appointment after this. I have a listing appointment tomorrow. And I'm still a buyer's agent. So, I love it. It makes me stronger because if I don't practice all of these preaches, I guess, I can't educate brand new agents on being the best version of themselves.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Fadi. Tell me what that looks like, though. I'm a new agent. You said that the training, it didn't just happen. They didn't come in and then they picked up a lead and then all of a sudden they were in escrow. You had to have trained them. There was some methods. There was some scripting. There was some hand-holding. I don't know what it was, but tell me what it looks like. I'm in your office and, hey, I've been here for like 7 months. I haven't closed one deal. What do I do? Tell me, how would you work with me?
Are you an agent that's continually to show up, or is it an agent that just shows up and does this with their escrows?
I try to show up, but then my broker's always busy or, not there. So I'm willing to work. I'm willing to learn.
So I think the number one thing is plugging in and surrounding yourself with excellence. The reason why I did not continue to run my own mom and pop brokerage, Pacific Realty Group, is because I am a big producer. I know there's many producers in here that make me look very small, but I'm at 57 closed transactions with $100 million so far for the year. And my biggest transaction, thank you. And my biggest transaction to date was $17.5 million, and that happened 3.5 months ago. And I noticed that there were some people talking about luxury and regular. There's no difference. There's no difference. I truly believe, and this is a saying I live by, is if you're an agent that's struggling trying to get to the next level, you're choosing to wake up every single day to feed that life. You wake up every single morning. If you're in a position of struggle or a position of success, you're choosing every single morning to feed that life. So for my agents that come in that are having struggle, to be honest with you, at the level we're at right now is, if there is an agent that shows up at my office and continuously shows up and doesn't have the luck because the opportunities they're working are just not converting because of the market status, I go on the road with them.
You actually go on the road?
There are many agents right now. I can put probably 10 agents out of the 70 right now that are on listings with me, that are my listings, that I put them as co-listing agents, just to bring their energy up in my office. And I do that, and I compensate them. But because we all know, we were all children at one time, and our parents, if they're still around or not, we touch fire, and what happens when we touch fire? It's hot, it burns us. The same theory is my training is when I'm out in the streets, or if I'm out in door knocking, or whatever the case may be, I'm guiding these agents. There's no hierarchy. They introduce me as their partner when I'm at listing appointments. They introduce me as their partner when they come into our brick and mortar for buyer consultations. I really, really think the energy and the mindset of a brand new agent is the future of this entire industry. There are people in this room that won't be here in the next 20, 25 years performing 80 or 100 million a year. The younger crowd, that generation, the people that are in La Palma right now finishing up and texting their family that are just passing their test, those are the future of this company. And if we as team leaders do not educate them, what's the part of having a downline? What's the part of doing all of that? We can't, right? So I am trying to create a way for agents, because I'm recently 9 years ago, I got licensed, and I worked for somebody that just said, learn how to swim. And I sank. I lost everything I had. I lost my car. I lost my house. I lost everything. This was years ago. I'm 35 years old now, young enough to restart, but I am so thankful it happened. Because I learned that if I ever fail or if I ever fall, I want to fall forward, because I have the ability to look back and figure out how I fell, how I tripped, and what tripped me. So that theory behind of learning from your mistakes is really the best key for our younger agents to learn. Because it's our failures and it's our time spent on the negative stuff that didn't bring us an outcome that saves them time and allows us to show them that real estate actually is a state of financial freedom if you work it correctly.
So a lot of people, especially if they've been in the business for 5 years plus, they don't want to or desire to work with newer agents. Why? What keeps you going?
The same reason why bicycles are still sold. Teaching them every day on how to ride a bike. Teaching them to figure out, when I see one of my agents going by and doing things as if I'm still in the field with them, coming back to me, if anybody is part of this industry that we're dealing with, is it's not easy to sell a home right now. It's very difficult. And I'm sorry to disrespect anybody that was up here by saying listing needs confidence. It's all bullshit. The one person that needs confidence right now is the agent trying to figure out how to get a buyer to buy a home in a market that they've never seen before. That's the confidence level we need to educate. Why? Because all of the big agents in here that are listing agents, your life is going to be 10 times easier because that younger agent knows how to not piss you off. Right? Or submit something to where there's 15 or 16 items on a request for repairs, where when I say, hey, pick out the 5, create that smooth, elegant, just class flow of just being able to say, hey, when I submit an offer, I'm coming in and I'm making sure that my team leader is on this paper with me, and just making them a little bit more important. I came from Keller Williams. I came from Rio. I came from all the other competition. I have no fear in my mind telling you that the number one position I will never change is leaving EXP. And the reason why I do want to say this, and not because I only have 6 seconds left, it's because of I've never. There's a little fish that swims under a whale. Does everybody know those little fish that they're always like secured? I feel like that little fish again, because there are people in this industry that make me feel brand new when it comes to the performance, and I'm learning so much from them. So that is the whole reason why I'll never leave, because it makes me stronger for all of these little guppies that I call them to start swimming in an ocean that's so big by themselves. So, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think we're over by a couple of seconds, but one of the reasons that Fadi's here is because he's really in the trenches and he's got his hands in there and he has a passion for working with agents. And so sometimes we hear conversations around like, well, you know, what does it look like? Is it like a cloud-based system? You know, is everything on Zoom? No. You know, we are a presence in our community in the world, and we have agents like Fadi that are coming here saying, you know what, I got my hand up, and I'll show you how to go. So thank you for what you do, Fadi.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.